Live from YMSL Studios. Welcome to the Dougless Report Week 1 recaps. I'm your host, Bobby Moravia with NRJ. And Norman, the time has finally come at a beautiful, sunny, blistery day
finally
on Sunday. Perfect for the first game for the Cleveland Indians. They felt right at home in that cold weather, and the Jake was rocking over at Memorial One.
The Jake was rocking. We brought the teepee to the field. It was a big success, and it was great to finally get on the field, not just for my team, for every team. Everybody's been dying to get started. All the hype about who has the best team. The odds from Las Vegas when Jigga called in got an uproar across the league.
Right.
And so everyone is excited to get to the fields and finally play.
And the game was delayed a few minutes. Besides the traffic, we had the ring ceremony.
Yes.
Everybody got the rings, and it was a very exciting, touching moment.
It's going to be emotional when we play the other teams and we see Ali or Sonny or Ralph Chira, all these guys. When we have to give the ring to the opponent, it's going to be very, very emotional. But credit to the grounds crew, first of all. Our field looked gorgeous.
The field was magnificent, and I'll tell you, it was an unbelievable opening day matchup with the Cardinals.
It really was. 2 extra inning games.
Yeah.
We had both of them obviously walk-off wins. The home team won each game. The Cardinals were actually missing John Eliezer, their first-round pick. So I give them a lot of credit for playing as well as they did without their first pick.
Yeah, Eliezer, in case you don't know, he played in the Israel League over the winter for the Tiberias Talets, and could not get out of his contract.
Right. Well, hey, you sign a contract, you got to live up to it. This is not the NFL where they just cut contracts left and right.
They were willing to negotiate. They were holding off for 100 Haggadahs, but Eddie Mishon was not parting with that. So it was a big loss for them. But Eddie Mishon stepped in, played short. He's obviously future Hall of Famer, played short many times. Didn't really affect them that much. I mean, they had Louis Patesh at third.
Louis was phenomenal at third.
After a 25-year absence.
Right. Louis is a 1976 champion. We mentioned this. He was on the 1976 Jaws team. He, by the way, can still hit. We said it when he got drafted. Louis can hit, but he could also field. I know he's going to be primarily their catcher, but he played third base. He did a fine job. He was diving for balls. He was a fine third baseman. He really did a great job.
Your team got off to a very slow start. So right off the bat, you were down a few runs.
We were down 2-0 early. We got the first 2 guys out, but then Mishon hit a bloop in no man's land in a triangle behind third, short, and left. It dropped in, and then Nathan Zolta, who really had a great week, ripped a double to right field. And then Lewis was up after Zolta. The guys that really hit for them were the middle of their order. Nathan and Lewis really kept hitting all day.
We should talk about, ironically, you mentioned Nathan Zolta. He worked very hard all off-season in Arizona to try to go the other way. The book on him was Deadpool.
Well, the book has to be changed.
Yeah.
He worked on it hard. He went both with an inside pitch to the other way and an outside pitch the other way. He knows how to turn on the ball. And he told me last year, in the middle of the year, he was batting .250 because everyone was playing him all in left field, and he was hitting right into the shift. But this year, he knows how to go to all fields, so he's a much better hitter.
He's a dangerous, very strong hitter. So if he hits all to all fields, he's gonna be a tough out in this league.
Yeah. So they took a 2-0 lead. It stayed like that for a couple of innings. Eddie Rishti came up, I think, in the 4th inning and hit a home run to left center. A solo shot that was a complete bomb, very deep, and in the middle of the gap. He scored. He could have trotted around the bases. That got us to 2-1, and then we calmed down once we scored. Murray Zolta also hit a home run for our team. This guy can hit, Murray. I scattered him, obviously, before we drafted him and everything, and
he's also another lefty that goes the other way a lot.
He does go the other way a lot. This was in the right center gap, so he pulled it, but it was a great shot. It tied the game. And then we were actually tied. We were actually down a few runs late in the game. In the bottom of the 6th, we were down by 3. But we chipped away. It ended up bottom of the 7th, tie game. Men on the corners for Norman Gaz Jamal at the plate. And
how many outs were there?
There was nobody out. The first two guys got on. Tie game of game 1 of the season, and Norman Gay's up. He batted 9th for us on Sunday.
Yeah, he was in his own slot, Norman?
Norman Gay's was slotted with Mark Nardea, who was fielding.
Okay.
Norman was hitting.
Oh, so Norman, okay.
And Norman had a good day hitting even before that. I think he was 2 for 3 or maybe 1 for 3, but even his outs were hit hard. And he ripped a clean base hit.
So it was first and third, nobody out?
First and third, nobody out.
The outfield was in, or just the outfield was in?
I guess they were in, the outfield was in, but he hit a shot to center, right, like clean base hit, as clean as you can get. And Jody LeBeau scored the winning run, and that was that. So we won game 1. We were thrilled. It was a comeback effort.
It was an 8-inning game, as we mentioned.
It was an 8-inning game, and it set the tone for the game 2, which was also another extra inning game and a very, very tight game. By the way, if you want to tweet us during the show, you can do so at YMSL Softball. So, anyway, Game 2 started very, very similar to the way Game 1 started. It was a tight game throughout. I think it was 2-all for the bulk of the game. Basically, at the end of the game, we actually had a 3-2 lead going into the bottom of the 7th, and they were facing their last chance at bat. And again, it was Nathan Zalta who ripped the double down the right field line. It was a very, very good pitch by Mikey. It was exactly where I wanted it, where I set up, where we thought maybe we could get him out. And you have to tip your cap sometimes. Zalta just...
Well, we should actually talk about the go-ahead run you scored in the top of the 8th. It was a controversial play. Excellent throw from the outfield from who made?
Yeah, here's what happened. Eddie Rishti got on with a bloop single that he stretched into a double.
Yeah.
So now he's on second base. The next guy up is Lee Zaccaria. They were thinking, should they walk Lee to get to Murray? They weren't sure what they were going to do. They pitched to Lee. Lee hit a shot into center field, and Eddie Rishti came running as fast as he could around third, and the ball definitely.
Who was it?
I'm trying to think who made the throw. Did it go to right or did it go to?
No, I think it came from center field. It was a perfect throw.
So then it was Irwin? Maybe it was Irwin.
Yeah, it was Irwin. Yeah, Irwin Cohen.
Okay, so Irwin made the throw.
Perfect
I think it was Irwin. Beautiful throw, and I was standing on third. I was coaching third, so I knew it was going to be a really, really close play. I waved Eddie home. There were 2 outs.
I mean, the throw beat him by 5 steps.
Yeah.
Whatever. It was,
I'm not sure. I don't know if Sakal bobbled it for a moment or if he held it cleanly. Yeah. I'm not sure. Eddie definitely slid on the inside of the plate. I honestly cannot say if he was out or... What do you think? Right. Did you think he was out or safe?
Well, no question that we mentioned the throw came in way ahead. So, but I was a little blocked off whether he slid underneath the tag or not. So that was the...
Usually if the throw beats him, they call him out automatically.
But when they're on their second extra inning games, the umps have a bit of an appetite, and it's time to go.
But the truth is, Eddie definitely slid on the inside of the plate. I don't know if Sakal got the tag down or not.
You want to know the truth? It was honestly one of those calls where either way it would have been the right. Like you couldn't go wrong either way.
It was really
nobody would have said
a
word if he could called him out because the throw beat him by so much. But there is a chance he might have slid underneath the tag. So.
The truth is, I don't know if you could ever say nobody would have said a word with this crew. It was, it got insane at some points in this game.
There was a little nip and tuck going with the 2 organizations.
Oh my God, yeah. We're not going to go to St. Louis anytime soon. Thankfully, we're done playing that team. We don't have to deal with them. But anyway, so
Nathan Zalta tied it with a bloop single down the right field.
Not bloop. He ripped it down the line. It was a really, really nice shot down the line. It tied the game. It gave them men on the corners. And then they hit a sac fly to right field.
Yeah.
And that was that. They walked off just like we walked off the first game.
Actually not a bad, almost a close play at the plate. That was.
Bub made it close. He ran in. He charged in. They actually have the highlight of the sac fly. But either way, the guy was clearly safe. He beat the throw. It was
actually a shallow fly ball. It was not too deep, but it was a great throw home.
If you have it, pull it up.
And
here's actually the play, if you can see it.
Here we go. Let's go, baby.
Okay, let's see what happens. I think it's on the next pitch. Look at that. Look at that field, by the way. Gorgeous. Here comes the pitch. Fly ball to right. Oh, they're blocking the catch. With
Mikey
the
doing the back
Mikey
up.
backing it up, but you see the guy's safe before the throw ever gets there. A good ending to a good. It was a very well
two
played
great
game.
games. I mean, it was one of those days you could easily have been 0-2 or 2-0 or whatever.
The truth is, with the long layoff, you really don't want to be 0-2.
Right.
You'd love to be 2-0, but I think early in the season, especially with the long layoff, I think you want to at least be 1-1
Yeah.
and then get back to it after Passover.
I don't know. I've never seen anything like this first Sunday where every team that was just started off. It's like teams are panicking already.
It's crazy.
They want to clean house. One guy went 1 for 6. They want to get rid of him. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's wild. I would caution everybody to not jump to conclusions after only one week.
It's a long season,
but everyone could do what they think is best for their own team. I guess maybe we'll see some trades. I'm hearing rumors all day long about different trades.
The phones have been ringing off the hook with rumors, but a lot of times things never materialize. Cause
it also has to do with the personality of the teams that that started 0-2 and therefore are starting to panic. And I'm sure we'll get to the Astros and the Untouchables when we get there. But the Astros being 0-2.
The Skelter.
Yes, Boys of Summer, BS for short.
Yes. A lot of BS in that organization. Now, a lot of pressure on Ike Mavora coming into this year. He's a little boycotting the show, as a matter of fact.
Oh, is he really?
He's mad at the media that we rip into him.
We didn't rip into him.
For not making the postseason during his YMSL career.
Hey, facts are facts. He hasn't made the postseason. 7 out of 10 teams make it, or 6 out of 9. I mean, most teams make the playoffs. So if you haven't done it in 3 or 4 years, I'm not saying win the World Series, saying make the playoffs.
So we have the Boys of Summer with Nathan Towles' team, obviously with Mavor as the pitcher versus Helter Skelter. Maxie Sutton's team with Meyer Safdie as the pitcher. And I don't know if this is any indication of what's going to happen. It could be the team name is going to be Boys of Long Summer, very short, because not a good start. As a matter of fact, a disastrous start.
Yes, as bad of a start as you can have. They had a really good infield was their strength, and from what I'm hearing, the infield did not perform well. It sounds like Sam Michon had a tough day at shortstop. I don't know why. Last year he was a very strong shortstop. So you got to also remember it's week 1. Anything can happen.
Well, guys were a little rusty. There's not. They didn't play. It was a cold spring so far. They didn't really get too many games in.
Right.
So he was bad. Then they were saying the outfield was a little slow and the balls were falling in.
Well, that's to be expected. I mean, although Jackie did have a couple of outfield assists, he threw out a couple of guys in the game, but. I'm not saying they're good fielders or bad fielders, but they're definitely not the fastest outfield with Jackie and Nathan in the outfield. That's what they drafted, and that's what they knew going into the season. So,
and members of Helter Skelter said, even though we won, we played a very bad team. I mean, it was just one of those things. Really, it all starts with Mavora. He's going to take that team, as far as he goes. He had a rough day. Walked. I don't know how many, at least 10.
In game 1, the problem seemed to have been the fielding mostly. It seems like there were a bunch of errors. Interesting note was that in the first inning of game 1, bottom 1, so now Boys of Summer are batting, I believe. They have a man on third with 2 outs. And Mavora is up, and they intentionally walked Mavora in the first inning of the first game. I was surprised by that. Mavora's a great hitter, but... I was surprised how early in the game they would intentionally walk. I don't know if that's Hank the Hammer or
who's on deck.
I'm not sure who batted after. We could look up the lineup. Who was up after Mavora? But gotta assume Mavora bats third. No, So or fourth. Someone good is behind them.
It could have been Salim. It could be who knows?
Right.
It could have been somebody.
Nathan.
It could be Nathan. It could be any of these guys. Anyway, so. With a couple of sack flies, Zvi Goldberg, Max Sutton, they went up 2-0 in the top of the 4th.
I want to see who's hitting after.
I'm not. We'll pull up the lineup to see who's batting after Mavora.
Oh, it was Nathan. So I'm assuming they didn't score. He probably didn't get a hit.
No, they didn't score.
Right.
Helter Skelter took a 2-0 lead. Boys of Summer tied it at 2, and then in the 6th inning, David Rishdi worked the leadoff walk, and then Max Sutton hit a home run. It was really a triple, but another error on the infield allowed it to be a home run to make it 4-2. And then in the top of the 7th, Boys of Summer made it a 4-3 ball game. So, it got pretty close. Or maybe that was the...
It must have been bottom of the...
No, in the bottom of the 6th, they made it a 4-3 ball game.
Right.
And then in the top of the 7th, Helter Skelter came up. And Albert Gamal hit a big triple to make it 5-3. And then Rishdi another single to make it 6-3. But that game was actually a 1-run game going into the 7th inning. So Boys of Summer could have pulled that one out. Then Game 2 is where everything hit the fan. Because Game 2 started as bad as you can start a Game 2. Mavora was walking a bunch of people. He actually had 8 walks in Game 2. From what I'm hearing, he didn't. Maybe he got tired or fatigued in Game 2. He was upset that a ball dropped in the outfield, which is what we expect to happen a few times. And he was down 5-0 after 3, down 10-0 after 4. And Rishdi, Gamal, and Max Sutton had 9 RBIs between them in Game 2. Game 2 sounds like it was ugly.
By the way, we should talk an unbelievable...
Skelter was that Eli Harari did not have a hit in 2 games.
Repeat from the Elias Saga thing. We lost.
Okay. From what?
From the Elias Saga thing.
The Rookie of the Year?
A minute ago, yeah.
All right.
So, Elliot, one person we should mention that outstanding day was in his YMSL debut. Elliot Saka, both offensively and defensively, put on a monster show.
Elliot Saka, everyone on his team is loving the performance that he had on Sunday afternoon. He made a diving catch going towards the line. He had another running catch into the right center gap. So his whole team is very, very excited about the way he performed. He's amongst a few rookies that seem to have had a great debut yesterday. We'll talk about them as we go. And one point of concern for Helter Skelter is that Eli Harari was hitless yesterday, despite that they had the 2 wins, 6-3, and I think it was 10-1 in Game 2 or 12-1.
Right?
He was 0 for 7 or 0 for 8. It's just a point of concern. Nothing to get alarmed about yet. It's only 1 week. But Meyer Safdie does it again. 1 walk in 2 games. So, does he have the fastest arm in the world? He does not. But 1 walk in 2 games and give your team a chance,
You know something? In this league, keep saying it. You got to play defense, and as long as you don't walk anybody, and your team plays defense, you're gonna compete, and that's what Meyer does. He's not gonna blow anybody away, and he proved it last year. Got to the finals, and and this team has got a very, very good defense, really outstanding defense. Douglas Dweck at first base.
They say he looked very, very good at first base. Douglas Dweck.
Who was playing second base?
They had Max at third. Maybe Zvi played second.
Yeah, Zvi at second, and so now you have
and Hank at short, of course.
Short. I mean, even though Eli didn't hit, he played very good. He's a very good center fielder, very fast. So that's that's a good thing. If Elliot Sack could add another bat, it could be very very tough to beat that team. And
bottom line, this team is going into the break. They have 18 more days till we play again, and they are 2-0 in first place, feeling great about themselves. You can't ask for more than that. On the other side, you have the Boys of Summer. I don't know if they're going to make a move. I don't know if they're going to make a trade or if they're going to...
Well, there've been talk. There's obviously some guys that want out, some guys that are already complaining.
I can't believe it's so early. It's so early.
But, so...
it's 2 games in an 18-game season.
I know.
It's nothing.
So who knows what they're going to do? They might pull off a stunner in week 1 and try to change the complexion of the team. We'll see.
Okay.
Now let's shoot back up the road to Memorial 3, where we had one of the where the Rockies versus the Brooklyn Dodgers.
Wow.
And we had one of the more historic comebacks in YMSL history.
Man, oh man, I love it's amazing that the games just keep getting better and better and better. Every time you ask somebody what's happening on the other field, they give you a ridiculous story of what's going on.
Now you don't even have to ask. You go on Game Changer and you see
Exactly. You could go on Game Changer. Our manager, Sandy Shallon, does not allow the phone in the clubhouse, so it becomes a problem for us. We're still
now the Brooklyn Dodgers had the pleasure of having Jeffrey Sacker this week. So, Azer was scouting out some places in the Hamptons, so he wasn't there. Versus the Rockies and
Ralph Hannon.
And this was not you'd think a good pitching matchup was not a low-scoring affair.
No, definitely not a low-scoring affair. In general, this week you did not hear of crazy pitching stats, and you have to give the pitchers a break. I mean, it's their first time in-game action. It was a nice day, but it was by no stretch a 70-degree day, And
the fielders are a little rusty too. So
fielders are rusty. Fatigue definitely a factor later in the game. But the whole story of this game is the 7th inning. I mean, that's the whole story. 9-3, Rockies led in the bottom of the 7th, and then one of the most amazing comebacks you could think of, a 6-run comeback. The Rockies trailed 9-3. The Rockies ended up winning this game 10-9.
I mean, really, you put Zach in the 7th inning with a 6-run lead. You can go to the bank with that.
It might be his biggest blown last inning lead of his life, maybe. I mean, Sacco with 6-run lead is pretty much a done game, and I'm sure even Colorado Rockies felt that way also. Yeah. But they got a leadoff walk.
Coors Field, anything can happen. We know that.
That's right. Anything can happen in Coors Field. Complete team effort. They got some breaks, but they also hit the ball. They started off with a leadoff walk from JT. Ralph Cohen singled and out later. Ralph Hannon an RBI to make it 9-4. Okay, nothing too crazy yet. Jordy then walked, and suddenly it's bases loaded with a 9-4 game. Nathan Batesh is up. He gets a single, 9-5. Then Richie Braha's up. Is it Sammy Insane? Sammy Insane comes up next. Sack fly, 9-6. Now you're looking at a 9-6 ball game with 2 outs. You're 1 out away from winning. And so Albert Levy.
Basically, nobody on base,
no, you have men on base.
It should be one guy on. If you got a sack fly to make it 9-6, there's probably a guy on first or something.
There was also a guy in scoring position. Also,
okay,
so there's 2 men on. Let's say.
Right.
Albert Levy comes on, hits a ground ball to Jimmy Malak playing third. Jimmy makes the throw to first. It was low. It sounds like it was a low throw, but definitely catchable. And definitely Stephen Batesh, one of the best first basemen defensively in the league, should be able to make this play. Right. I'm sure he'll admit that also because he's an excellent fielder, but he dropped the ball. It was an error on Batesh, allowing a run to score to make it 9-7 and keeping the game alive. Leo Pachotto came up next, hit a double to make it 9-8, and then Victor Dweck comes up. This is all again with 2 outs. Victor Dweck comes up in a 9-8 game, and he hits a ball over the second baseman's head into a little bit of a gap area. Tying run scores, makes it 9-all. Jake Dweck bobbled the ball in center.
Wow.
Winning run comes home, and it's a 10-9 ball game, and the fans of Colorado going nuts.
That's an amazing comeback, and not a good way to start the year for the Brooklyn Dodgers, but you got to give credit to Marty Jamal and Jack Jamal for keeping the team together, because a lot of teams going after a loss like that would really go into the funk for Game 2. My
immediate question to anyone I asked about this game was, how did the Dodgers come back and win Game 2 after a loss like that? But they have a lot of leaders on the team, and they have young guys also.
Right.
I hear this rookie Elliott Mann played well. Is he a rookie, or did he play a couple of years ago?
No, he's a rookie in the
Okay,
YMSL.
so I hear he played very well.
Talent, yeah.
And also, in terms of Jeffrey Sacca, how often is he going to have 8 walks in a game? It's not going to happen. So
Right.
it's nothing for them to get too alarmed about. I'm sure they realize that, even though they blew an epic game. But you got to figure Sack is not going to walk 8 people. Therefore, they're going to win 9 out of 10 games that are like this.
Right. So, yeah. All the pitchers are going to get stronger as the season gets along. So it goes along. So you're not going to see these type of scores in a few weeks.
Few things to note. Jordy Rameld playing with a hurt ankle, could not play shortstop. Victor Dweck ended up filling in at shortstop for the Colorado Rockies.
I'll tell you, say one thing about Victor Dweck. I'll tell you, the guy can play any position on the field. And I think other than pitcher, I think he's played almost every position.
You're right. He's played third. He's played first. He's played second.
Yeah.
He's played left for sure.
He's played center a couple of innings. I know. I don't think he's caught, but maybe he has.
Maybe he has. Who knows?
And he gets a job done. And he's got a pretty good bat. So I mean,
he's probably never played short before this game, though.
And I've seen him play short.
Yeah?
Actually, he's played short. He's filled in at every position in the field. So.
Well, he's playing short now, and it seems like this injury with Jordy might be a lingering thing. So this might be their permanent shortstop now. I'm not sure. Another point to note is Leo Pachotto, usually a very reliable fielder, had a very, very rough game in left field. Sammy actually moved him from left to right, switched him, I think, with Louis Franco. He switched the left fielder and the right fielder. I'm not sure what the story was with that or why Leo struggled, because he's been playing outfield forever.
We should note, actually, in Memorial 3 is a very, very tough outfield.
It's a very tough outfield.
Tough.
There's a steep slope.
And besides that,
there's usually a
about
puddle.
3 feet of water. and a drainage, pipe there. Not really as conducive to going all out.
Not really conducive for softball in general, really.
I mean, guys really... and, it's ironic, Leo Pachotto was involved in one of the more historic plays in YMSL history, which was the famous dog play in
yes.
left field at Memorial.
Great trivia question. Who was the left fielder in the famous dog play?
He was running full force, big giant husky there, and stopped short. So,
by the way, in Game 2, it sounds like Ralph Hannon was completely out of gas. It was 7-0 after the first inning.
Yeah.
So there was a touchdown in the first inning.
So they rebounded quickly. I'll tell you, got to give the Dodgers a lot of credit for that one.
Definitely have to give them credit. They have to feel good with the split, knowing
for sure.
They should have swept. They could have swept. They could have swept a really good team.
And how did Allie do?
Well, Allie, he had his regular numbers. Nothing that jumped off the charts. It sounds like Jimmy had a tough game at third base, but they have a ton of options. I heard Jacob Wasser could play third.
Yeah, he's a regular third baseman.
Harry Braha played third last year, and Jack Jamal has played third many times.
Yeah.
So
honestly, when we did the recaps, I didn't even anticipate. We forgot Jimmy was even on the team.
Yeah.
But I didn't even think he was going to play third.
I don't think he really should play third on this team.
I know, but he really has no option because Sammy's at first.
I know.
No, Steven Potential's at first. So he's either going to DH or, where else are you going to put him?
I don't know, but third base is a pretty serious
very hard
position.
position. In this league, you look at the third baseman, they're really lights out.
They're lights out. Many teams have more than one, including this team. And, Jimmy's a great, great hitter. I know he works hard. He loves softball. He's very dedicated. But I don't know. Third base is a serious position.
It's a very hard position. There's a lot of action there, too. Jacob also had a pretty good day. Another rookie.
Another rookie that stepped up in their first campaign. And I know the elders on this team are very excited about some of the younger guys on this team, So we'll see what happens with them.
Definitely, could be a team to be reckoned with. And let's shoot over now to what we're calling fireworks at Fireman's.
Okay.
And that's the Astros versus Untouchables. Now, the Astros coming in with a lot of media hype. A lot of people picked them to go all the way. And one of the best lineups YMSL has ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, that does not translate into a ring.
Right.
Because chemistry has a lot to do with it, and defense is a lot, pitching. So their big question mark, obviously, we always said was going to be Eshko as their pitcher.
Right.
I thought it was a great pick to have him as pitcher. I thought he was going to be, sort of like a Meyer Safdie with a great field, not walk
Mhm.
anybody. And I thought their lineup was just to hold its own and do everything. But and untouchables, we really weren't too high on either. Neither one of us were,
Right.
because we had a lot of guys that were sort of out of position. But boy, were we wrong in this matchup.
So far, apparently, we were definitely wrong in this matchup. I was very, very surprised. I'll be the first to admit it. I was way off on this matchup. I did not expect the Houston Astros to get swept. I did not expect that. I thought maybe a split or an Astros sweep of the Untouchables. So I'm sure I'll hear it all week and whatever, but I was way, way off. The way the game started was 2 back-to-back walks from Jackie Eshko to the first 2 guys, DK and Chira, to put 2 men on for Jacobatti.
Right.
Not the way you want to start your season. Jacobatti at the plate and 2 guys already on base. He got a single, 1-0. A.B. DeWeck got a single, 2-0. Mark Braha had an excellent week.
Yeah.
Sack fly, 3-0. Jaime then walked after that. He didn't end up scoring. Nothing ever happened, but 3 walks in the top of the
By
first
the way,
inning.
we should mention Jaime Shama continuing his amazing year from last year. Had an outstanding day against third base.
Yep.
And the big question mark we had was Jacobatti. How's he going to perform at short? I heard was unbelievable also at shortstop. And Mark Braha at second base. So they might have found themselves some incredible picks in the right spot. So
They may have outsmarted the experts over here and picked themselves a damn good team, possibly. Then in the bottom of the first for the Astros, Mo Shama starts off the inning down 3-0 with a leadoff triple, and amazingly does not score from third base.
Well, with that lineup, huh?
With David Farka, who might be player of the week, but they lost both games, so he won't be. But he had doubles, triples. He had everything in this week. He played great, but he didn't get him home. Big Sol didn't get him home, and Saban didn't get him home, thus stranding him at third base. So the first inning could not have gone worse for the Astros. As the game progressed, they actually tied the game. Farka had a 2 RBI triple to make it 3-3. Big Solly got a single to make it 4-3. Now they're winning. They actually went up 6-4, and then in the top of the 5th is where it all came crashing down. Chucky Abadi started off the inning with a single. DK leading off, then singled again, and then another walk. That's what really did the Astros in to load the bases for Jacobatti. He doubled. A.B. DeWeck, sack fly. Mark Braha, sack fly. Boom, 8-6. So, and then the last thing, 8-6, bottom of the 7th for the Astros. Okay, Eshko and Morris are up. At that time, every time Eshko and Morris came
we
to
should
the
mention
plate,
Eshko was hitting 10th.
Yes.
By the way, game 1.
and Morris was hitting 1.
Yeah.
I was surprised at both those spots in the lineup.
We said that was thinking to get some depth down in the bottom of the order.
I like the 10.
Eshko actually had a good day at the plate.
I love putting speed in 10. I really believe in that, and I like having a strong hitter in 10. I don't know if I would put Morris 1. I would probably put him 3. But it depends. I mean, their lineup is so strong no matter what you do.
Yeah.
You really can't go wrong, But when they came up in the bottom of the 7th, at the time they came up, they had reached base every time they stepped to the plate at that time. Eshko was on base all 3 times. Morris was on base all 3 times. And neither of them got on in the bottom of the 7th. And the Untouchables went away with an 8-6 win.
Oh, wow. So, and Leo Castle, we might add, it's facing a lot of scrutiny this year.
Yes.
Coming in from the media, and he performed very well. So
Leo will not face a better lineup than he faced. This is the best group of offensive players on one team. So if Leo could get through that lineup, and I'm not saying it's just Leo, it's his defense, it's the whole team. But if you could get through that lineup, you could get through any lineup. Right. So Leo should take this and really build on it, and maybe have himself a really special season.
So we tried to get into the post-game meeting for the Astros in between games, but obviously we can't televise this family show.
Of course.
But game 2 did not start off any better for...
It started off better because they went up 6-1, the Astros. But then it all came crashing down in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Astros looked like they were going to run away with game 2. It looked like a split all the way. But then in the bottom of the third, the Untouchables, who really have a long lineup, came right back. Joe Chira with a single, Jacobatti a walk, A.B. Dweck a single, Mark Braha a walk. So clearly way too many walks from Eshko. And then Jaime Sham, a big 2 RBI single to make it 6-4. And then David Casson, another single to tie the game at 6-all. Next inning, Mark Braha, another single, 7-6. Jaime, a triple, 9-6. And that was that. Astros got on base all day long, but they couldn't get the runs home.
Right. So a rough start. There's been a lot of rumblings inside the clubhouse.
What are you hearing from the clubhouse?
Well, ironically, we talked about Eshko being a pitcher, but they had a backup pitcher waiting in the wings.
Yes.
By the name of Moses Eastman, who showed up to the field
in his street clothes.
Yes, in a suit.
Really?
I don't know if he thought it was. Maybe he thought it was Erev Pesach. I don't know what happened. He was not. Obviously, he could have got into the game.
Right.
Why? He was not ready to play. So he had to buy clothes with pants. I don't know what happened, but he could have got right into the game at that point. And there's been a lot of rumblings that he might be the starter come April 27th.
Now, what's the rule with Eshko? Because this was a big hot topic at the.
No, Eshko cannot play the field.
Can he DH?
Yeah, of course he can DH.
So he could still bat.
Yeah.
But if he's not pitching,
right.
Do you think they'd really pull him after only 1 week?
I think it's a little premature. I really don't see the panic in the situation. The guy obviously has not pitched in years. Maybe he had some butterflies. But you got to give a guy at least 2-3 weeks to try to get his comfort zone.
Right.
I mean, it's now he has 2 weeks to also play a little bit and practice a little bit, get the feel for the strike zone. So I think I think to pull him now is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, but they are fortunate to have a guy like Moses, but losing a lot defensively with Moses as a pitcher. So
Yeah, I mean, and you drafted Eshko. It was a great pick when you got him, but still, you don't want to just burn your pick that you took Eshko with. You know, you still drafted him. He batted
that
great.
Guy still has his bat. Speaking of Eshko, but this is a different Eshko.
Okay.
We have Joe Eshko on line 2. How you doing, Joe? You on the air?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How are you? And, congratulations, your season debut as a captain. We didn't get to your game yet. Was resulted in mercy.
Yeah, it was a great game. We started the game with, I believe in the first inning with 3 runs. We actually was very strong for outside 1, 2, 3 innings. They got us up quickly every single time.
Joe, it looks like you had a monster game. You went 4 for 4. You homered. You doubled. It looks like you started off your season as well as a season could start off.
Yeah, I thought I had to make a statement to the team, especially in the 5th inning when we gave it 1 run to mercy them, and I hit a homer. So nice statement to the team, and it was a lot of energy. We had a lot of energy that game.
And we might mention this was against the 2-time champion in the last 3 years, A.B. Saka, making his return this year. Obviously, not a great start.
Speak up, caller. Speak up.
Yeah, that's true. On the Fountain of Utes. But I think he hurt his back or something in the first inning or whatever. But you guys obviously showed no mercy on him. Your team, I'll tell you one thing about your team. We talked about it all off-season. Extremely young and talented. Zach Ashkenazi, we got to mention also, drove all the way from Massachusetts the night before the game. Shows the dedication that he has. Your team's got a lot of heart, a lot of young talent. The oldest guy on your team is Steven Safdie.
Had a great, unbelievable 2 games.
Who's that?
Murray Towell?
Yeah, Murray Towell. He was killing the ball, playing amazing at first base, scooping balls. He got an unbelievable job.
Now, is he a regular first baseman or?
So last year he played catcher on my team.
Yeah.
He normally, every time he said he plays baseball, if it's hard ball, if it's softball, he's the first baseman.
Right.
He got lucky on that one.
Oh, so you picked him to play first.
Picked him and knew he could play first. Spoke about it before the draft. No one had him on the radar.
Yeah.
Because he was a catcher last year, and he also did hit 400 last year. And now he's beasting out.
Oh, so he played good at first. So let's talk about your pitcher. Also made his YMSL debut, Ralph Sutton. Can you tell us a lot about his performance?
Ralph Sutton was in the zone. He was throwing strike after strike, putting it in play, putting us in a position to make the play for him. I think he just walked one batter in the second game on a 3-2 count. Walking one guy in 2 games, especially your rookie debut, is unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
By the way, Ralph Sutton showing a little Moses in him, wearing shorts and a T-shirt.
Really?
Yes.
With CT
no,
flying
no
out?
CT,
No?
with shorts and a T-shirt and 50. We might add it was 43 degrees at game time. But
Matt, you can run. I didn't even get a chance to put him in the lineup, so I'm looking forward to putting him at, give him a few swings.
yeah, you basically took him late. A lot of teams passed up on him for some unknown reason because he did win the night league, so a lot of people knew who he was, but they passed up on him nonetheless. But I'm sure you got to be happy with your team, even though you lost game 2. You're probably happy.
Game 2 was actually a close game. We had a few balls that didn't go our way. We had Avi had a bases loaded one time that he had a shot to right field that the Cohen kid that was playing made an unbelievable catch. So if that fell, that would have turned around the whole game.
Yeah, that was rookie Morris Cohen.
That was at the right field line. I saw that.
Yeah, he made a beautiful
That's a
catch. Also, they had a rookie in left field, Jacob Cohen, who also homered in the second game. So the Cohen cousins really, both rookies,
and
both had
Cohen
great games.
in center field too.
That's
so
right.
A lot of Kohanim there.
So
So
it was a Cohen outfield.
yeah. So
So there was a couple of plays that just didn't go our way. We definitely used a lot of our energy the first game. And everybody's first rookie debut was just getting to them that, it is 2 games. You got to make sure you have some more energy, for the second game. So we're working on that. There's a few holes that we're just going to see in the lineup too. So we're looking forward to next week.
all right, sounds
right.
good. We're
Good luck,
excited.
Legion of Boom.
Question though, we have a trade offer. How does that work? Do you guys need it approved or 2 captains? How does that work?
Well, is it already agreed by the 2 captains?
I can get them on conference call. Maybe.
Well, Bob, you're the commissioner. I don't know how trades work, so.
Well, let's hear it.
Let me get them on.
We have everything in writing.
If you're going to announce a trade over the phone, it's got to be much louder so everyone can hear.
Well, we might as well.
Hold on a second. Let's get out of here, man.
You know what the trade is, right?
Terrible. All right, do you hear me better?
Yeah.
All right, good. So I'm going to announce it. So
Well, first of all, before you announce this trade, did you speak to the other team you make the trade with?
yes.
I want to make sure they know about it.
Talking all day. Made this trade happen. Unfortunately, I didn't want to trade these 2 guys because they were a key part to our team and love the chemistry, love playing with them the first week, and it only was 1 week to play with them.
Yada, yada, yada. Let's get to it.
Wait, what team?
So made a trade with Nathan Towell's team.
Nathan Towell's team. Okay, so that is the BS team, Boys of Summer.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be Mavora must be traded.
Wow, you guys have Mavora.
Mavora must be traded.
We actually traded from our team, Steven Sassy,
Wow.
Steven Iraq.
Wow.
2 power hitters.
Steven Safdie.
Steven Safdie, a great left fielder, MVP candidate the last couple of years.
And who?
And then David Iraq.
And David Arari. Okay.
And in return, we got Sam Michon, who's going to be playing left field for us.
Wow, Sam Michon already on the outs. 2nd round pick.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Ashby, who's going to be a utility guy at second base and catcher, and if needed, in right field.
Wait, I missed who the
Marcus
second guy.
Adjemi.
Marcus Adjemi. Okay, so you got Sam Michon and Marcus Adjemi. They got Steven Safdie and David Harari.
Ike Mavora really wanted Steven. They're Colel guys. They're going to shul together. I like it. It fits better for both teams. I'm going to get the youngness and Michon, who I played against the World Series. Love his energy. Love his bat. And supposedly he's an unbelievable outfielder, which can help us with him and Zach in the outfield, which could be unbelievable. And if he gets uncomfortable in left field for any reason, we can always put him at short. In my position, I can go to left field, which no balls will be dropping regardless.
Wow. You know what? I like the move. I like the move for both of you because I really felt they needed to make a move. They could move Elliot Risty to shortstop, no problem.
Boys.
Right, and they'll put. I Where are they going to play Steven? And are they going to
I-
change their outfield?
I
What are
think
they
the
gonna
only
do?
thing they
Even
possibly.
in left field.
Well, Nathan's playing left. I don't think that's going to work. But
True.
I think initial reports is that they're going to go with a 4 outfield system.
No way.
Yeah,
Yes, that is true. You did explain that to me.
4 outfielders. You know, the big knock on them is that they're a little slow in the outfield.
Right.
So now they're just going to go cover all the gaps.
Okay.
And, with
They had 2
Mavo-
big hitters for David Arari.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Well, David Array, if he ever comes around like he did a couple of years ago, he's a monster hitter also.
David Arari is it's all or nothing with him, and hopefully for Boys of Summer they get all, because they need it.
Unfortunately, I didn't give David Arari enough chance because, he did say he'd be back. It's the first week, but, we're just looking to make some changes. The outfield have more speed, the youngness, the hitting with Sam Michon batting cleanup.
Let me ask you, Joe, because there were rumors about Steven Safdie being traded even earlier. Right after the draft, there was rumors about him
That is true.
being traded for Jake DeWeck. So what's the deal with Steven Safdie? It sounds like you weren't interested in his services.
No, I love him. He's unbelievable. He did that 560, 20 home runs, and 30 RBIs. He's unbelievable. But my type, I would love to play with him and continue to play with him. But my type of, team out there is energy, screaming, yelling.
Yeah, that's not his. That's not his speed.
Scoring from first on a sack fly to the pitcher. It's unbelievable. I love that. So I'm looking for the speed, the youngness, the kids that I can connect with. Every game, who want to listen, who are down for anything, but
Yeah.
just love it. Zach also loves playing with Sam Mitchell. He did win a World Series. So,
Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations on the deal. It sounds like a good deal for both teams. I really believe that because
Well, I think it's a great deal for boys of summer also because now
Yeah.
they go 4 outfielders, and God knows with Mavora pitching, there's a lot of shots in the gap. So
I don't love the 4 outfielder idea. I got to tell you, but yes, before pitching, there will be shots in the gap. but I think that hurts their infield a lot. You made the bases bigger this year. It's
Yeah.
much more. By the way, there were so many double plays this week because the bases were 2.5 feet,
Yeah.
wider. But now you're putting your shortstop and your second baseman without a short center. It's a much, much bigger area to cover. I don't know. I never liked the 4 outfielders in general, but we'll see how it goes with Boys of Summer.
Definitely great. It shows a lot of confidence in you that even though 1-1, you're looking to better your team. So that's it's a great trade. Congratulations and good luck the rest of the way.
awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
So how about that? A
Love it.
blockbuster after
A
week 1.
trade on the air. I can't believe it.
Wow. So that's.
I
I
can't
don't
believe
think I've ever seen a trade after week 1. It's got to be some.
And Sam Michon, their starting
Yeah.
shortstop.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he came ready to play on Sunday, so we'll see. Right now, we got to take a break from a word from our sponsors, and
Wow.
we'll be back to talk about the final matchup.
Wow.